Yo, and welcome to Semen Retention. Hope all my brothers are doing well on this crazy journey we call semen retention. And I've just been having some thoughts recently. If you guys have been following my channel, I am a full-time musician, and as of the start of this month, actually, it's only been 19 days, but as of the start of this month, I've devoted myself to just being a musician and focusing on my craft and my artistry and my skill sets and all that kind of stuff. And what that means is that I'm using semen retention as my kind of like mean of channeling all that kind of energy into my craft, right? I'm going to take these earbuds out because I don't need them. I just need to adjust this. Sorry about the sound. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, so what I was saying was, I channeled all that drive, that semen retention kind of drive, that testosterone, all that into becoming the best musician that I can be, And so what's happened is that it's been manifesting. It's been actually going on evidently, like every single time, I'm playing a gig. Every single time I'm playing a gig, someone says, "Oh, you got an amazing voice," or "Mate, that was awesome. What are you doing here?" "Oh, can I have a card? I got to pass on your details." Opportunities just coming flying at me every single time. It's just getting better and better. My voice is getting really good. I wouldn't say my guitar skills are, world class or anything, but as far as being a singer goes, I think I go pretty toe to toe with majority of the singers out there, actually, to be honest. I was watching a live performance by an Australian, you could call them a band, it's basically just one person, but they're a very popular Australian act. And they were performing live to kind of promote their new album, whatever. And I was listening to him sing, and I was like, that sounds like me on a really bad day. And this guy is at least 10 years older than me. I think he's probably 45 or something like that. 15 years older than me. So many years of experience, has so much money, so much access to the best people in the industry if he wants to become a better singer. Yet he sounded crap. And I think about myself performing for 4 hours, maybe even 8 hours a day over the weekend, playing set after set after set after set. Not just 3 sets, not just 3 45-minute sets, which is already more than any other of those famous acts out there do. You'd be lucky to see any famous act do over 2 hours of performing, and that's with breaks inside that performance. And yet I've been doing set after set, some days 10 a.m. till frickin' 10 p.m, a 12-hour day, 3 gigs lined up, smash them out, because I'm getting that money. I'm also making most of this kind of health, this drive, this strength that I've got. But the one thing that I guess it kind of is a frustration, but the more you go on semen retention, the less attached you are to kind of like matrix-like goals, I guess you could say. So one thing that kind of irks me, but I also accept, is the fact that even if you've got the talent, even if you've got the drive, even if you've got the energy, you're not going to get those good gigs. You're not going to get those, filling out stadium gigs. You're not going to get those, playing at those cool festivals all around the country or in other countries. You're not going to get that airplay on the radio station. You're not going to get the fans doing cool things for you because they really love your music. You're not going to get that. And the reason why you're not going to get it is because this system, this matrix that we live in, it promotes the kind of music that makes you question yourself rather than be assured of yourself. Let me say that again. 444 just tripled across on the time of this video. So give me a like and a comment how you're doing. Let me guys know how you're going. So what I said was that this system does not advertise and push music that makes you, be assured of yourself. It pushes music that makes you question yourself, makes you feel, maybe I'm a loser, maybe I'm a weirdo, maybe I'm a freak. The thing is that in the 90s, the big theme in the 90s was that I'm a loser, or I'm a creep, I'm a freak, um, I'm a pretty fly for a white guy, I'm a teenage dirtbag, I smell like Teen Spirit, the list goes on. All that music of the 90s was men just basically saying, I suck, I am a piece of poo. And the reason why that was pushed is because that was the next stage in the kind of degeneracy of man. So in the 60s, we kind of had this kind of peak revolution of love idea, and that was when we were kind of going like through the 60s, kind of swinging 60s, the LSD, and people were having a real fun time. The music was pretty good as well. But with that being said, that music did have a dark side to it, which was to kind of partake in the psychedelics and the kind of liberation of sex and stuff. And that's when women started to kind of go down that hole, I guess you could say. And then in the 70s, it became a bit more kind of like cocaine and, you're like being a macho man. And then in the 80s, it became kind of like being larger than life, being like a kind of like, sharply dressed man. And you've also got like, in the 80s, you've got like just kind of like heartbreak songs and real 80s kind of ballads kind of stuff. And Michael Jackson's Billie Jean, you think about how that was like a kind of movement for promiscuity leading to the birth of a child and stuff. So more degeneracy kind of pushed. And then you get to the 90s, and also in the 80s there was the glam metal era, which was like kind of like, oh, let's all get on coke, let's all get absolutely drugged up, let's all have a good night tonight and smash some bottles and get into fights and all that kind of stuff. And it's real bottom of the barrel trash, right? Okay? I love that music. I think that music is cool. The sounds that they make is cool. Some of the lyrics are cool, even though the lyrics are tainted. But it is what it is. Once you wake up and you see things and you hear things how they actually are, you start to realize that, hey, maybe I won't be part of this problem. So by the time we got to the 90s, that's when we had this kind of depreciation, I guess that's the word, self-degradation type of era. And what happened is the narrative was pushed upon the masses to, especially men once again, to make them feel like losers, freaks, dirtbags. And the whole idea of this was to, once again, push men into degeneracy. But this time it was more about that kind of like, becoming, that's when the internet started to come about. And that's when they started to push, the online sites. So then by the time the 2000s and the 2010s roll along, we went from like, self-degradation to kind of like ultimate simp music. And then you get bands like Tame Impala and Arctic Monkeys in the 2010s that advertise things such as, like, oh, why'd you always call me when you're high? And, the less I know, the better. And it's all about the girl that has control in the situation. It's always about the girl that is making a man feel bad about himself. And I just think it's super cringe. I actually think it's super cringe now, all that music. Because it's people in power, in positions of power, projecting an image as if they struggle with it. But the reality is they don't. they don't struggle with it because they've got all the things that the women want. And what they want is they want the money. They want the status and the power to be able to be part of something like that, you know? To be able to be one of those people that has access to someone probably in higher places and part of some certain groups. So what happens? Well, what happens is that now in the 2020 era, we've got this full... I haven't even talking about female music from the 60s through to the 2020s, but it's been obvious from the progression of things that basically it's getting to the point now where women are kind of making this music where they're just like, you know, it's all about that kind of instantaneous kind of love type shit. It's all about that, like that next new quick fix. Thank you, next. Ariana Grande. Oh, I can't wait to be single, that song. Pink Pony Club. Like, what the hell? So you got all these weird songs that people listen to. And when you're on semen retention and you're on this journey and you're kind of practicing this time and really locking into your purpose and questioning these constructs that have been put onto you, you start to think to yourself, hang on a second, I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be part of this culture of people that just like drink, talk absolute shit, listen to garbage music with lyrics that just creates... It's a cancer. That's all it is. It's a cancer. It's not something that's benefiting society. It's a cancer upon society. It's causing many issues. It's causing broken families. It's causing divorced partners. It's causing, you know, cheating. It's causing people to have an excuse, or at least to have some sort of push in towards doing something wrong because their idols, or these false idols that we call celebrities, are pushing these narratives that it's okay to do this kind of stuff, that it's okay to kind of sleep around, that it's okay to, you know, to be on to your next one straight away and not have any time to actually just like sit down and reflect on shit. So what I want, like, you guys to let me know is, how does music change in the perspective of a guy on semen retention? Let me know how your perspective has changed. Has it even changed? Maybe I'm too sensitive because I am a musician and I see this, but you know, even when I'm playing my gigs, and most of my gigs I have to play covers because, you know, people only can comprehend... Look, to be honest, I play quite a lot of originals at my gigs, but sometimes it's good to fill out a, you know, 3-hour set with a lot of covers, because it's just like, just give the NPCs what they expect, because they don't know how to handle change. They don't know how to handle something new. They don't know how to handle a new voice. It has to be marketed to them. It has to be manipulated and oversaturated for them to enjoy it. It has to be constantly pushed onto them in order for them to understand. It's like they got to see the McDonald's signs 40,000 times in their life to finally die from obesity, you know? Like, anyway, I'm talking a bit of shit here. So, we're talking about basically music on semen retention. And look, I know that there is some good music out there. There is good music in the past as well, in all those decades that I mentioned, that there is good music that is, you know, got a positive message. And I only choose to listen to that. When people ask me to play certain songs, you know, I'll give them the answer that they deserve, depending on, you know, what the circumstances are. Do I think I'm going to get a benefit from them? No. Well, then I won't play that song. So, yeah, look, guys, I'm going to end this video. I hope you're all doing well. Music, it's I've got such a interesting relationship with music, but it's just disappointing to see how much of it is being used for negativity. Um, it's disappointing to see how many people are unaware of what it's doing to them, not only on like a, you know, a mental level, but a physiological level as well. Just they don't understand how those frequencies and melodies and vibrations and rhythms, you know, offsetting certain parts of their biology and their chakra system and spirituality as well. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you all have a great week ahead. It is Sunday here in Melbourne, so, you know, fresh start tomorrow. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Catch you later. See ya.